Halt, stranger. Not another step. You're walking on the holy ground of Kalan. The only people allowed in here are clerics, recruits, or traders with permits.
You spend all day standing here stating the obvious.
Where am I?
You are in Ignadon, at the Hort, the stronghold of the clerics, the repository of Magalan's knowledge, and the last bastion of the free people against the threat of the Alps.
So how can I get in?
Sorry, I thought I made that clear. You can only enter the Hort if you are a cleric, a recruit, or you have a trading permit.
Here. Is this enough to persuade you to let me in?
I'm going to pretend you didn't try to offer me a bribe. That sort of thing might work in Tavar, but here in Ignadon, it's an insult to my honor. Although, it has given me an idea. Accepting shards is forbidden, but if you could take care of some business for me, that would honor Kalan. And perhaps persuade me that you entering the Hort was for official business.
You have a deal. Tell me what you need doing.
Good, right. I can't talk about this now, there's an inspection due. But we'll talk later, all right? Unless you've got any questions about the Horde I could answer for you, then you can go in. Well, you can go in after you've had my briefing. You won't find Kalan's commandments too strict. You should know that anyone bringing initiates into the Horde will be responsible for them. All initiates must be clear of mind. Chems are forbidden. Anyone found taking them will need to report to the suggesters for re-education. All who are clear of mind must hear Kalan's words. All must adhere to his wisdom, and tell others of it. For we need to recruit. We've taken losses in our battle with the Albs, and now the Berserkers and the Outlaws are trying to take advantage of that. Which is crazy! If we fall, then who is going to stop the Albs sweeping all the free people from Magalan? Those who wish to join us must come to the Hort to train. The successful ones become acolytes. That's it, briefing over. You are free to move about Hort.
The Hort. You can see why the Albs have failed to take it. But it is only a matter of time before the Albs come home.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
If you want in, let's kill him and go in. If not, let's go somewhere where there's at least one less asshole.
Have there been any Alb attacks here recently?
With Zakor on our northern border, there are always Alb troops coming through on their way somewhere, but they don't seem to be attacking us here for the moment.
But have you heard anything about Alexiters traveling through Abessa?
Yeah, I have now that you mention it. Alexiter Calyx was reported to have headed north with a few combat units and a troop of mechs.
Alexiter Calyx? So he's been promoted. Tell me, how long ago did Alexiter Calyx head north?
A few days ago. They must be back at the Ice Palace in Zakor by now. What's with the interest in Alexiters? You go chasing them, you'll just find trouble. And I don't want them tracing that trouble back here.
I'm asking so I can avoid them.
Don't treat me like a rookie. You sound like someone who wants a showdown. So let me give you a warning. That approach is gonna get you and anyone close to you killed.
Where can I get an entry ID?
You can't. We're full. We're short of supplies. So the decision has come down to close the gates. The full allocation of entry IDs has been given out, and we have instructions not to let anyone else in. Those outlaws have us stretched enough as it is. I'm not saying you're working with them, but until law and order is reestablished, we can't risk any more undesirables joining up with them. You'll have to wait till all this is over and done with. Say, there's a bunch of others who can't get in who've taken up residence in some houses near here. Why don't you join up with them?
You feel the same way?
Wiped the weak from this world to make
Most
space
of them
for
annoy
the
me.
Albs.
All of them annoy me.
Don't ask me what that was about.
I want to get into the city. Can you get me in?
Have you tried to get in yet?
Yes, I went to the gate.
And? You got turned away, right?
I wouldn't be here otherwise.
Okay. I can offer you a way to get into the city, but it's risky because you might not get out again. At least not if they confiscate your ID.
Why won't I be able to get out?
All right. I just hope things don't go the same way they did with Cooper. The clerics have shut the city up tight. They won't let anyone who doesn't have a valid ID through the gate. Not in, not out.
Who is Cooper?
He's an acquaintance of mine. He lost his ID and got stuck in there when they sealed the gates. Anyway, we're off the point. You want in, right? And I can give you a counterfeit ID that will get you in. But once you're inside there, I need you to go and take an ID card to Cooper. That way he can come back out again. Like I say, I can get you in, but I also need you to help me out. You good with that? Does that sound like a deal?
Deal. Give me the ID, and I'll meet Cooper.
Good, right. That's the plan. Long term. You see, Wick has all the blank IDs. So before I can get you an ID, I need you to get me Wick.
Where is Wick?
Well, that there is a good question. You see, he's been gone for a while. He'd gone over to the ruins to see if there was anything worth scavenging there, and hasn't come back. You should look for him over to the northwest if you're in a hurry to get into the city. Just look through all the houses. He should still be there, scavenging.
This world has so much to give. I know you can say
Yeah,
that.
I think I'm done here.
They're always hitting on you here.
I don't have the shard, so that's not gonna happen. Safe places to stop. After all, not all of the land's creatures are helpful, friendly, and turbulent. This is me broadcasting from the orbit to bring a warning to all free people out there. Stay safe in the wilderness.
No. Too easy.
Yeah, it needs to be totally reworked. If you can
Get something to drink first. Something like that.
Wick is dead, but I found the ID cards on his body.
Dead? Shit. I told him whatever was there wasn't worth the risk. But Wick would do anything if it would mean him getting 2 shards he could tap together. Ah, well, give me the blank ID card. I'll work it up for you now. So, done. 1 fake ID ready to go.
Give me the counterfeit ID.
Okay, wait a second. Your image has to be added there first. So, done. Here's your ID. And this is the ID for Cooper. Take it to him. But make sure the clerics don't see it, See him or see you handing this over. And do it as soon as you get in there. He's been at risk too long as it is. We don't need him being held, or worse, turned into a vegetable by the suggesters.
They're always hitting on you here.
I'll see you later, all right?
You want to cross him? You're crazy.
No. I can't believe that.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
I have an entry ID. Let me through.
Really? I thought I knew all the ones that had been issued. And you were here asking about getting ID before. So tell me where you got this one.
It's mine. I was issued one after all. Must have misplaced it.
All right. I'll believe you this once. I've got to be wary. That desert gang of outlaws is always trying to find ways to get by me. Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them. That sort of security is why we need to keep an eye on IDs. So if you meet someone who's in the city illegally, report them to us immediately, and Eric will take care of them. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here, until they cause trouble. So keep the peace while you're in there. Our suggesters are busy enough without you adding to their workload. And that's it. You may pass.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
I'm against the clerics.
Right, good. I can see you talk sense. They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city, that's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in Elex, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the Elex. All of it, no matter where it is.
We won't get in their way. We don't want Elex. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing. No, it's the clerics.
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
Yes, I have something for you.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric-infested dome. I don't know if Hunter promised you a reward, but here's something for me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
I trust you. You gave me my ticket here after all. But I can't tell you our plan. But you must have realized by now the dome must go. The clerics can't be allowed to take Abessa.
Huh. What do we have here? Fresh meat?
The only fresh meat here is you. Let me ask, do you eat Elex?
Do I eat? What are you talking about? How did you get the guard to let you into the dome? I'd watch out. They're probably trying to recruit you. You wouldn't be the first to come here looking for shelter only to end up bowing down to Kalan. However you got in, you're going to find it even harder to get out. The clerics are a little jumpy at the moment. You might say paranoid. So, when they do let someone in, it does make me wonder who they are and why the clerics thought letting them in was a good idea.
If it's so hard to get in, what are you doing here?
I got in before things got so paranoid. And I came here for profit, of course. Lots of nervous people close to the Alps tend to be willing to invest shards in their safety, you see. And getting hold of supplies is hard out here. So, if you can get them, you can sell them for a high price. Well, that was the plan. Now, the clerics have stopped me trading and cut off all the supplies.
Where do you get your goods from?
Mostly directly from Tavar. And that's the main problem. Seeing as the clerics have got picky about who comes in and goes out of here, it's impossible to get by the guards without an ID card. And they took mine from me as part of their crackdown. Now they say I'm causing trouble. But what else is a businesswoman supposed to do when she has her business taken from her?
About your trade ban.
Yeah, don't tell me. Trading weapons can pose a danger to the community. But this is about self-defense. The only person who can stop a person with a gun is a person with an even bigger gun. Am I right? I mean, what? Are we supposed to throw rocks at the Albs when they attack? But the clerics want to keep all the guns for themselves and screw the rest of us. They call it neutrality, but I say it's oppression.
Sounds like you could use some help.
Yes. Yes, I could. Still, let's say he's right. And that I could get a hold of supplies. Not from Tavar, obviously. They've blocked that route. Let's say I could get some weapons from these separatists, for example. Let's say they have weapons and need shards. And that they also have the business acumen of a stunned troll, so they need a salesperson. Me, for example. What if I was to say that? And what if I was to say that I have to find someone who could enter and leave this city freely? If I was to say that, then what would you say?
I'd say you're walking a dangerous line.
I can't leave without profit. Hell, right now I can't eat without profit. So I need this deal. So if you blab, what have I lost? Nothing. And without any guns to show, it's just your word against mine, and even Alois isn't going to see that as justice.
I could help you get your weapons.
Good. Right. So, this is what you need to do. Leave the city and find a separatist called Radok. I think he's a separatist, but whatever he is, he's a mad fucker. I can't make sense of most of what he says. But he has the weapons, and he likes trade. I think he likes trade. It's hard to tell. He wants to sell the weapons, but you'll have to work on him, okay? He won't just hand them over.
Where can I find Radok?
Up in the Highlands. When we last spoke, he told me he was going to head over to the northeast. He mentioned an abandoned wind turbine. With luck, he'll still be out there.
You can forget it, brava. Hey, traveler. Is your throat dry? Are your feet aching? Whatever your problem, I have what you need. One good swig will cure all worries, and that's guaranteed.
Do you want to trade?
Save yourself some work and some pain by doing what I say. Let those assholes drink piss from the gutters, and you keep your supplies for the real people.
What do you care?
Another time, yeah? Goliath?
Goliath? No. I was exiled to the valley before I came here, but I hid myself in a crate and got brought up in the lift.
You escaped in a crate?
Yeah, those idiots had no idea I was in there.
Brought you a report from another city.
Yes? Which city did you go to?
I went to the fort.
Good. Then tell me your report on the outlaws.
The fort is well prepared for defense. They're not lacking weapons, and they seem determined to keep what they have.
And their state of mind? I'd hoped the outlaw problem would solve itself by them tearing themselves apart.
They have similar numbers of people to you. It's true that they don't all agree, but their leader, the Duke, seems to have the outlaws under control.
Then I will need to think again about Tavar. I was hoping that they'd implode, leaving us with one less threat. But it seems we may not be so fortunate. Tavar is always safer when it's fighting itself. It leaves them less energy for fighting us. Thank you for your report.
I went to the Dome City in Abessa.
Any information about the other factions is useful. Tell me what you learned.
The people in the Dome City seem to want to remain neutral, but they are waiting to be attacked by the Alps. They know the war is coming.
I think they're short of supplies and feeling lost, leaderless, awaiting the axe to fall. The war has displaced a lot of refugees into Abessa, and there's a lot of argument over what to do with them and what they mean. That takes up most of their time. Thank you for your report.
I visited the Horde in Ignadon.
The Horde? Stronghold of our old enemy. So, tell me about their strength.
They're prepared, well-disciplined, and they're developing new weaponry. But they are short on manpower.
I had heard they were recruiting. How are their forces distributed?
Their attention is focused largely on the Alps, but they haven't forgotten the other factions. I think their main concern is being attacked if they decide to take on the Alps.
At least they seem to have recognized who their real enemy is. Thank you for your report.
About my support, how am I doing?
I hear you failed. I have heard you helped the men at the Mana Shrine. You must do more. Earn those pledges,